Mamma mia, it's pizza dough time. I got this ball of pizza dough. Oh wait, that's not what I'm making. I'm sorry. I'm going to make cinnamon rolls, but guess what? It's pizza dough is the starter, right? So I was trying to figure out how to make this easier thing to do, and I realized my grocery store actually sells some pretty decent pizza dough. And what I like about it is if you get it from a pizza shop, it's probably got like olive oil and just has that, you know, hint of pizza to it. And I don't want that. So first thing I did is I got a big bowl here. I want to proof it or let it rise. I don't know, proof seems to be a word you specifically use for dough. But anyway, so we want it to rise. So what I did was I just put a little vegetable oil in the bowl, with a paper towel, just so it doesn't stick, okay? It's room temperature. If you have a fancy oven, you know, you can set it for proof. You can set it on, you know, warm it, turn it off, let it cool down a little bit, especially if you're in the north part of the country where it's a little cooler, because we really do need to get it to room temperature, which ideally I think you can proof at 100 degrees or something, 95 to 100 degrees, 95 to 105 degrees. Anyway, so I've got this here sitting, and what we want to do is we want to make that filling, right? It's the filling. So I got 3/4 cup of brown sugar, right? And one of the things, I just put in a bowl with a fork. Now, I don't use brown sugar all the time, so sometimes it gets a little lumpy. So that's why I like a fork. So before I get started, I just was going through here, kind of busting up any chunks. Not that it's going to hurt, because it is going to bake, right? And the steps are really easy and quick. It's the waiting time. It's always a waiting game, right? So I need to add some cinnamon. Now we need quite a bit of cinnamon. I think it's about going to fill this jar. So I want 2 tablespoons. And it doesn't have to be exact, because I might not even have 2 tablespoons in here. Cinnamon's so fun to work with. That's 1. That's 2. That'll make you sneeze. Not you. Alright. So I just want to incorporate. That's another good word, right? We're going to mix it up, but we're going to incorporate it. Now I just use light brown sugar, more universal. Doesn't really matter because you put some cinnamon in it, which is going to give it that dark color anyways. And before I finish, I want to show you a little trick. So once again, I had to think, how do I make mine different than anybody else's? I figured if I'm going to shortcut on the dough, I might as well make the filling a little better. So while this is sitting here, let me show you something. I really thought this through. I wanted some chopped peanuts, okay? Because most people have peanuts in their house. I keep peanuts in my house because I get into my Chinese food when I get it from takeout. And I thought even further about it, and I thought, hey, I have some honey roasted, so we're going to get some sweetness, we're going to get some salt, we're going to really kind of intensify all the flavors, right, of this cinnamon roll. So then I thought, as I got my big oven out, or my big knife out, and I'm chopping up, I'm thinking, what if you don't have a chef's knife, big chef's knife? So let me show you a quick little trick. I've already done a bunch of it. So I only need a little bit more. I will tell you that at some point you want a bench scraper. Real handy. This one was an Amazon special, but it is a Nordic wear, so it's a good one. Look what I can do. And this worked perfectly when I tried it. Now I'm probably going to have a problem, right? And you're going to rock it just like a knife. A good bench scraper actually has a one-sided edge to it, so it's beveled on one side, flat on the other for scraping, just like a putty knife. And you see, I'm just going to attack it slowly but surely. Oh, look at this. Amazing. The stuff I come up with. Who would have thought? Keep pulling it together. Pull yourself together, Jim. That's from Star Trek. Never mind. Oh my goodness. This works so well. I'm going to patent this idea. Alright. Probably don't even need this much, so we'll have to figure that out as we're doing this. I just thought this would be fun. You know, the other things you could always think about doing is, what if you want to kind of fancy it up? Maybe put a little lemon or orange rind, grate it into the mix, and then you could put a little bit of the juice flavoring in the icing. I think one of the big brands already does that, right? I'm going to need my bench scraper. Got to kind of clean it off. I will tell you, if you think you're smart and go to do this in the blender, you will end up with peanut butter pretty quickly. Alright, so let's go back to this. And now I need some melted butter. I need a quarter of a cup. Just going to kind of drizzle this around. That's a half a stick. We need to make this the mixture. Now it looks just like what you're used to. But you know, the other thing is, when you bake these, this cinnamon sugar mixture has a tendency to kind of just run all over the place. And that's what I was thinking. What if we put some peanuts in? Maybe it's going to change the texture a little bit. Alright, so I probably don't need all these. Let's just start with about half. So that's about a quarter of a cup. I think I'm going to put a little more in. I think my goal initially was about half a cup, and then I got carried away chopping up, figuring out ways to chop peanuts up. That's kind of the fun part is once you kind of start to experiment, you can come up with like your own little twists on things. That way you don't have, Martha Stewart coming after you for stealing the recipes. Alright, a little more. Can't ruin it. And it is funny, it has changed the kind of consistency enough that I think we're in for a pleasant surprise. Alright, so now what do we do? Got to deal with the dough. I need the dough, man. So I need to flour this. Whoa, oh, horsey. This flour's pretty old too, not big chunks. So we want to start moving around, and then make the pile of spare in case you need it off to one corner. I think I put some on my foot somehow. Now we're going to see how much dough this, oh look, I get the white glove treatment, which is good. I want some on my hand, but what we want to do is, we want to see how much flour this dough is going to take from us. And what I like to do is set it in initially, because it does have oil on it, and then flip it over, put some extra flour in there. So we've got a pretty good flour, and I got some big gas bubbles in here. Need to give it some Milacon. Okay, now, my hand, look, I took it right off my hands. Self-clean. Now we need to roll it out. Ooh. Ooh. Good rolling pin is well worth it. So this isn't the best dough I've ever used. It's a little bit overworked, feels like. So let's see if we can stretch it. New person at the store must have decided to go have a smoke break, but I had this in my mixer. That's alright. We'll figure it out. Big lump right there. So you just have to work with what you got. And it really isn't hard to make your own dough, so certainly if you're ambitious, do it, it's worth it. But that's what I want right there. Yeah, good. Alright, so stay. looks right. Alright, so probably not going to be able to use all this. It didn't come out as fun as I thought it would, but that's okay. So what do? We just get some of this on here. And I don't know about you, but I love to have all the goo on these. That'll look good. Oh yeah. And you know, you don't want to take it all the way to the edge because yes, it needs to seal. This is the edge. This is the edge I'm going to start with, so I can certainly bring it all the way up to this edge. So now what we're going to do, start very gently. Roll, roll, roll the dough. And then the dough is soft enough that you're going to be able to really seal it. Just want to kind of pinch it, seal it. What do you think? That was easy, right? Alright, so what do I do next? I have a dish that I sprayed with Pam earlier. So if I tell you to cut it in 4, some people get all freaked out. If I tell people to cut it in 2-inch length, you know, whatever, they get all freaked out. So I'm going to show you another little trick. So I'm going to guess that we've got about 2 lengths of this, right, working, because I don't want the ends. I mean, there is stuff at the ends, you know, so you can give the kids when it's all done. But let's start with, let's cut it in half. And this is where a bench scraper works really well. And if you don't believe me, yep, it's good. So, now I want to cut it in half again. No, I'm not going to do that. So now what I'm going to do, normally I would, but I decided I'm not this time. So now what I want to do is think about, it's going to grow up, right, when you cut it, and I want them kind of big, like I want them worth eating, right? So I'm going to take and, I'm trying to think, if you want to have some kind of measurement, you can always use your fork width, right? So let's take that just for the fun of it. Cut, and it's going to kind of mush it up, right? But then what do? You're going to set it in here and mush it back together. You see, I'm just going to eyeball it. And to save time, I'm not going to measure each one now that I've kind of showed you the trick to that. Still have a little bit. So I just want to make sure the end, which has nothing in it, and these are not perfect, okay? These are fun things. I always say I'm not selling these at the bazaar. So guess what? They don't have to be perfect. I'm eating them. And I get the ones from the big end. And there's still a little bit in here, so I'm going to make an odd one. It can plunk right in the middle of these smaller ones. Alright. So, what do you think? I got these. I've got to proof them, right? So I'm going to cover them with this towel. Back in the day we used to say you had to wet the towel to proof them. I don't find that to be true. What I would like to do, because I'm always so full of surprises, to keep the dough moist, I've got a little more melted butter, and I really just want to do a little drizzle on each one. You know, and there's always this big debate about, you know, bakers say, got to use this unsalted butter because it's fresher or whatever. But I will tell you that sometimes salt really accentuates flavor, right? So sometimes having a little bit of salt really kind of helps make it all better. Alright, see, so that's all I've done. I just want just a big spot here. Alright, so we're going to proof these. I'm going to let them sit about an hour, and I'll get everything set up to go in the oven. I'll show you right before I put these in the oven, or maybe not, depending if I forget. But just kidding there. We're going to let these rise, get happy, and you're going to want to get your oven up to about 350, and you're really just going to throw them in for 20 minutes. And while they're in the oven, we're going to make the fabulous, super killer icing. Alright, see you back. Alright, so those darn things are smelling the house up like insanely. So I'm getting ready for them. I've prepped a sheet pan with tin foil because it's going to be a gooey mess, and I've got a cooling rack sitting in it. I had a cooling rack that fit in here, and Lord knows where it went to. But so that's the start I'm going to do. And these are what the beauties look like. They just smell so good. They're going to be so much fun to eat. And I love these because they're, they're like more bite-sized. They're not like these giant, but they're all fluffed up and really good, and I didn't overbake them. I did my job. Alright, so while we're getting those all set to go, let's make the icing. So what I have here, I started to cream 8 ounces of cream cheese and a 1/4 cup or half stick of butter. So that's a block of cream cheese, half stick of butter. And I just want to check the consistency here. Perfect. All right. So now I need flavor, right? So I need a tablespoon of vanilla. Because I like the vanilla. And if you don't like as much vanilla, don't quite fill up the tablespoon. What can I say? It's that simple. Now, I just need to gently mix this. Alright, now it's going to truly mix when I get some powdered sugar in there. So, it usually takes, for this much cream cheese and butter, about 3.5. So I always tell people 3 to 4 cups of powdered sugar, depends how it packs. I mean, there's so many variables, it's really hard. But I'm going to basically do a cup at a time. Start off slow so you don't have a storm of powder. Got pretty good consistency. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to put another cup in here, see where it goes to. Let's take a look. So I've got some pretty good peaks, not exactly perfect yet. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest in, and then we're just going to beat the heck out, okay? Alright, this is what I want to see. Oh, it happened to fall in there. So, let me grab a spatula. Right. It's perfect. See, it's really nice and peaked. Piques my curiosity. Alright. So let's just get this. There's plenty, so I'm not trying to be too careful. You know, it's some things I just have a hard time figuring out how to half the recipe. So I just make the whole batch, and I should have made a double batch of the cinnamon rolls, but I wasn't convinced that that dough was going to work. So I was a little leery, but in the end it worked out. So we're good. And I really love this the kind of the consistency of having that cream cheese butter thing going on. Wished I had figured that out centuries ago. All right. Set this aside. Sorry I'm making such a mess of my kitchen today. Alright, so I've got my baking sheet. These have definitely started to cool down, which is what I wanted. So let's retrieve these. I'm going to start with some of the smaller ones I have here. And you can't see it, but this dough really did a good job. So you want to try and get these a little separated, but they're stuck together. This is the one I promised myself, the monster. And it's funny, there's this beautiful, like, stuff. Some of these that were just didn't have as much fill. We can just touch them up. And you're going to do that for home use because it's not as attractive, but guess what? Who cares? You're eating. So once again, try to think about something a little different, a little off the beaten path here. Something not difficult, a little more time consuming, but guess what? That's okay. And these are just amazing. You know, now all you need to do is like put some marshmallow fluff on top, right? Let's add some real goodness. And what I like when when you do it at home. Let me try that over again. I'm kind of drooling. It's hard to talk, so you know, you can really watch them. You know, even if you have a recipe down pat, when you work in a big place and you're cranking them out by the thousands, you still get inconsistency. I mean, how many times do you go in the store to get like hamburger buns or hot dog rolls, and they're either undercooked or overcooked? I mean, the same thing happens in any kind of baking situation. So, you know, we get to just really live it here. I'm telling you, I'm going crazy. Let me get this thing out of the way. I need those. So, man, you have no idea what you're missing. So, nothing like your fingers to tell exactly. It's still toasty, but they turned out so like light, kind of fluffy and good. Yeah. All right. So I'm letting them cool here for a minute. I feel like I'm wearing this stuff. It's really not killer hot, so it's going to be okay. I liked the way it turned out. And you know, if I take my time with it, yes, presentation means everything. We eat with our eyes first, but you know, sometimes you're just having fun. Something you want to let your kids play with, because really there's no harm in it. I mean, worst case scenario is you're going to cut it, right? They can lay it out, they can mix everything up. And if you have mix it by hand, it'll wear them out, so they'll take naps for you. That's, you know, before they get the buzz of eating all this stuff. But more than that, it's just fun, you know, get your hands dirty. I talk about that every day at work with people, about just doing things that you kind of have fun doing and enjoying life a little more. But man, these are going to be really good. So how I'm going to finish this, I kind of like these things. I got these little tin containers, and let's say I wanted to take this to work. Well, I could put a bunch in here, put the icing on, because you know, you kind of top the icing and let it kind of run in there. And that would be a good way. So if I take, yeah, they're definitely cooling off. And it's like a puzzle. Shoved in here any which way you can. So this is like what it's going to look like. It's just 7 beauties. The rest I could certainly put on just a paper plate, which is what I'm going to do, because I'm going to eat them when you're not looking. So I take my beautiful icing, and we're going to kind of plop it, because I don't want to disturb the top, and it's going to be just warm enough. It's not really going to melt it. I don't want to kill it any icing, I just want to put a little. It's amazing, every time I'm cooking something, my lawn guys show up. Then they always, you know, hang around, so I feed them. So this is really simple. We were talking at work this week about if we did like some kind of craft fair for the employees, just to kind of sell things to each other. I said, oh, I would just barter things, right? I'll give you this, you give me that. And I asked my boss, I said, well, what about cooking stuff, you know? So we're gonna work on this project, but this is the way I would definitely present these. It's not going to all run together, like I said. I don't want the icing all like smushed up. You want to be able to taste all the other stuff. So I'm really just being very delicate. Oh yeah. Sometimes we all just get a little lost in our work. Now, I'm telling you that this would be, I saw that I hit the edge with a spatula. So this would be how these turn out. This would be a great little presentation box for them, right? I'm going to let them cool completely, and I'm going to put the top on them. And you can write on it, you know, with a Sharpie, how you've got these just over the top, bodacious cinnamon rolls with icing. And no one has to know you shortcut it unless they watch my video. I guess I'll have to release the video after the craft fair. Okay. After note to self. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the ones I'm going to eat, good and the bad, and even these small ones, I mean, these look pretty awesome, right? Now you can really see how I did that. So I just take my spatula, got a little too much on there. I'm just going to give it a little earthquake shake. And I don't begrudge anybody because, you know, like I said, when you're mass producing, you just can't take your time. You know, even in restaurants. I'll tell you, if you ever really want to challenge a restaurant, take away their microwave. Because, you know, that's how they warm up desserts and do everything. And I'm like, it's not the same. It's not the same as if you had it fresh out of the oven. And come on, I use the microwave a lot. I'm not begrudging anybody. But I did grow up without microwaves, okay? So, I hope you find this intriguing at best, or at least, and just amazing, at, you know, because it really is cool. It weren't that hard, pretty simple. The biggest thing is waiting for the proofing, but yeah. I think anyone would be happy with these. I think that's a good idea for Christmas, Thanksgiving, any holidays coming up. You could let the icing set, and maybe take some of the icing and a little orange or a little black, and make like Halloween kind of things on it. You can do whatever you want, but any suggestions, please, or anything good, I'd like to see it. But to me, this is as good as it gets, and I'm going to tell you, I will see you, like always, with another great recipe, and I hope you are trying this, and I appreciate you watching me. Keep watching, keep watching. Don't let those horrible people at YouTube delete or remove you from my subscription. But anyway, have a great day. See you back later.